Sources confirming to NBC News that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis will announce he is running for president during a discussion with Elon Musk on Twitter Spaces this evening. Musk hinted at that announcement at yesterday's Wall Street Journal CEO Council Summit. Joining us now for what this means for the future of the social media platform, Dan Primack is the business editor for Axios. Dan, thanks so much for joining us. You tweeted yesterday that you're not quite sure what this means for DeSantis, but this is a, quote, huge coup for Musk. Why is it bigger for Musk than DeSantis?
Well, because we all knew DeSantis was going to announce he was running for president. We just didn't know, would he do it in a speech? Would he do it with Fox? Would he do it some other way? It's for Musk because the center, and Axios wrote this morning, the center of the conservative media movement is moving from Fox over to Twitter. And ultimately, this should get a lot of engagement, and that's really Musk's main goal here. If he could get an announcement from Joe Biden on Twitter or a one-on-one interview, I'm sure he would take it. What he wants is eyeballs, or at least ears in this particular case, since he's doing it via Spaces. So the more people who are on Twitter and paying attention to Twitter, the better it is for Musk.
Yeah, and I want to go back to DeSantis because my initial reaction was almost the opposite of yours. I thought, well, he gets the association with Elon Musk, who has 140 million followers on Twitter, and he gets people caring about this, whether better or for worse, on both sides. Whereas if he had announced on Fox or just in a media scrum in Florida, people might have said, yeah, we expected that. It's not a big deal. So doesn't this help DeSantis in some way, just the exposure, or will it hurt in some way his exposure and association with Elon Musk, David Sachs, and, two rich Silicon Valley guys that aren't exactly part of the base that will have to elect him in a primary?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it remains to be seen how this plays for DeSantis. I think the big risk, well, there's two big risks. One, if this really gets an enormous amount of traffic, we don't know, if Spaces can hold up. We might be talking about millions of people listening simultaneously. I think the bigger issue for DeSantis is he could get overshadowed. Musk is a massive personality who is liable to say who knows what during this conversation. And it's possible that DeSantis could be the B player in his own announcement.
Yeah, it's interesting. All the coverage about this has been about Musk and Twitter as opposed to DeSantis. So you're absolutely right about that. It's interesting, when Musk bought Twitter, the bull case was that this was going to be a technology solution. He was going to create the super app. He was going to use his engineering genius to fix Twitter. And instead, it seems to be a cable channel. He's bringing in Tucker Carlson. He's hired Linda Yaccarino from NBC, who comes from the TV side. Is there a risk that just when Tesla shareholders thought that Elon was going to get out of the public political debate and focus more on Tesla, that this form of Twitter is going to bring him back in?
I think if Tesla shareholders really believed that, they were making an enormous mistake. I think what Tesla shareholders should believe is that Elon is going to be able to get out of a lot of the day-to-day of running Twitter, literally the minutes and hours it was taking him, not the stuff he was doing on the platform publicly, but the stuff he was having to do behind the scenes, really the blocking and tackling and the dealing with advertisers, which is really what Linda Yaccarino is being brought in to do. So that's what Tesla shareholders should take solace in. But Elon Musk is not going to walk away from the political sphere or being part of the public conversation. Arguably, that's why he bought Twitter in the first place. That's the part of Twitter he's always found fun.
Yeah, and Spaces is an audio-only format, so I guess we're not going to get video, and Elon Musk has said it's going to be totally unscripted. Let's let her rip. How do you think they're going to choose the questions and make it unscripted? And, what do you think the event is going to actually be like?
I mean, it's hard for me to say. I mean, Musk has said that. It's almost impossible for me to believe that DeSantis's political advisors have really just said this is going to be, there's not going to be any structure to this at all. But I mean, one of the interesting things about Spaces, of course, is that other people can participate or can ask to participate. And if you look at past Twitter Spaces that Musk has been involved with, kind of some high profile ones, including around the acquisition, et cetera, he often does bring certain people up, quote, on stage to ask questions. We don't know if he'll be doing that. We don't really know what David Sachs's role is going to be in this. As you said, the venture capitalist, former tech entrepreneur, who's being listed kind of as a moderator here. Sachs, for what it's worth, is really interesting in this because just a week ago it was announced he's going to join the board of Rumble, which arguably used Twitter, or at least its video platform, or kind of its growing video platform, as a competitor to it. So we don't really know. I think arguably that's why a lot of people are going to tune in.
Yeah, and the idea that Musk put out there, which is that, look, I want to do more of this. This isn't just DeSantis. I want to create space for more voices on Twitter. Do you think other people will follow DeSantis's lead and do events with Elon on Spaces or Twitter?
It depends on what kind of numbers this gets. I mean, what you need to think about, for example, I mean, on the Republican side, the real comp is Fox, right? Fox, even though its numbers are way down since Tucker Carlson left, it still, averages 1.5, almost 2 million per hour in prime time. Can Spaces get that? But of course, the other thing about Spaces is it's not just what you get live in the moment. You've got replays. You've obviously you've got clips being played. One tricky part about it, though, without the video aspect is how television is going to replay it, right? Are they just going to put up a blank screen with DeSantis' face so you can listen to the audio? I do think we're going to get toward video. One of the more interesting announcements yesterday was Ben Shapiro talked about how his podcast network, which is obviously audio but has a video piece, the conservative commentator, they're going to put those on Twitter because Twitter's now allowing longer form video. And I would think that even though this is on Spaces, that kind of the future of these is going to be a combination, really arguably a return to Periscope, which is an old Twitter product that is shut down.
Yeah, you would think Elon Musk could figure out how to get live video on Twitter. Maybe that's...
Yeah, again, Twitter used to have it. It's got to be coming back.